After somehow being bored to sleep despite your impending execution, you finally wake up in the back of a horse-drawn cart. You proceed to morph into every race and gender on Tamriel in front of a horrified Hadvar, and it's decided that, despite not being on the wanted list, you should be brutally executed, because apparently your life is less valuable than the slight inconvenience you would be to the Imperials. So you make your way to the block for a very vigorous neck massage from this mysterious hooded gent. Only the unlikeliest of saviours makes himself known. Your life is saved. Okay, so this dragon may be about to destroy the whole town and potentially the entire world, but you can worry about that later. Run for cover. Jump through the burning roof of that poor innocent family's house. Don't worry, they're probably all burning alive in agony anyway. Pick a side. The guy who just sent you to the block for no discernible reason whatsoever, or the other guy. Well done, you've escaped Helgen, and now you're free. Now, you could just chill and go about your life in Skyrim, but you really ought to let someone know about that giant f***ing cataclysmic dragon that's just been unleashed on the world. So you head to Whiterun, the glorious city that looks nothing at all like Edoras, and have a chat with Jarl Bolgraf. And to thank you for your valuable intel, you're about to be sent on a fetch quest into one of Skyrim's most iconic locations. So you infiltrate the ancient ruin, full of puzzles that only the sharpest of minds can decipher. Soon you'll encounter Arvel the Swift, who isn't quite as swift since he got himself all tangled up in Shelob's lair. Now, if you trust the scoundrel and free him, you'll see just how swift he is. But if you're like me, a little shy and not so ready to put your trust in strangers, then you can kill him in cold blood while he's entirely unable to defend himself. Proceed to pick up the Golden Claw and advance further into the Barrow, where the torches are inexplicably burning, and the inhabitants are in dire need of some meat and mead. You put your life on the line, and now it's time to get the appreciation you deserve. But wait, there's been a dragon attack, and since you weren't charred beyond recognition at Helgen, apparently you have the prerequisite experience required for this life-threatening job. If only all jobs were this lenient. You absolutely destroy Mir Molnir the fearsome dragon and vape his life essence, leading the surrounding guards to look at you like you're the second coming of Pelennor. Congratulations, you are now the Dragonborn, and don't even think about living your own life, because you are bound by prophecy to end the world-eating danger that is Alduin and all of his dragon chums. Suddenly, the Greybeards are in your DMs. You've been summoned to the summit of the throat of the world, but your calf muscles are going to be tested, for this traversal will take you up no less than 7,000 steps. Except the actual tally of steps is 732, but 732 doesn't have quite the same ring to it. As you ascend the mountain, you face the most formidable foe of your soon-to-be-ended life. It is said that the Dragonborn prophecy, the one you are currently in the process of fulfilling, was foretold by an Elder Scroll, the mystical metaphysical texts that transcend mortal comprehension. But you know what these scrolls couldn't account for? A f***ing frost troll. The World Eater Alduin, firstborn son of Akatosh, owes this primitive barbaric beast his weight in gold, for this unnamed basic enemy has probably claimed the lives of more Dragonborn heroes than his entire dragon army combined. But should you survive this encounter, you will meet a different kind of white-haired biped, Arngeir of the Greybeards. After many words, delivered very slowly, you will be taught a new shout and sent to the Nordic ruin of Ustengrav to recover the horn of Jurgen Windcaller, the founder of the Greybeards. So you delve into the dank depths of this dilapidated tomb, only to find that your prize has been taken by a friend. On the bright side, they've invited you back to their room at the Sleeping Giant Inn, so perhaps this ordeal wasn't for nothing. So you go to Riverwood, rent a room, and after a long day of dungeoneering, you doze off to a deep and well-deserved sleep. But then you are woken up by Delphine standing over the bed. Before you even have a chance to react, she's giving you the horn and telling you to come, with her down to her secret basement hideout. After a quick chat, it's time to kill another dragon and suck in its life vapors. Turns out Delphine is a member of the Blades, which these days is a very exclusive club, since there's only 2 members. After returning to Delphine's dungeon, you discover that you're invited to a party. Elenwen of the Thalmor is hosting it, and you'll need some fine clothes. But there's a twist. You're going undercover to acquire some top-secret Thalmor intelligence. And so, you arrive at Elenwen's soiree, ready to have your social battery drained by pleasantries, platitudes, and uninspired small talk. In order to infiltrate the off-limits area, you will need to create a distraction. There are multiple ways of doing this, but I generally opt for enabling the drunkard named Razalan, giving him a strong drink so that he'll deliver a speech worthy of some immense hungover embarrassment the following morning. After murdering your way through the embassy, you discover what you need to know about the missing half of the Blades, Esbern. He's hiding out in the Riften Ratway. Behold Riften, you will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Beneath the city is an even less savoury place, the stinking Ratway. Down in the sewers you'll encounter a vast array of deplorable characters. There are lowlives, vagrants, Thalmor warriors, and worst of all, Morrowind fans. Once you find Esbern, the old coot will be unwilling to let you into his humble abode, but if you ask him to remember the 30th of Frostfall, he'll let you in. For anyone wondering, the 30th of Frostfall is the date in the 4th Era 171 that a Thalmor ambassador upended a cart full of severed heads at the gates of the Imperial City. Every Blades agent in Somerset and Valenwood. Not quite as cheery as the 21st night of September, that's for sure. With Esbern in tow, emerge from the sewers like Andy Dufresne from Shawshank, and make your way back to Delphine. From here, the three of you head to Skyhaven Temple, the old Blades HQ in Skyrim. To access the temple, you'll need to find a way past the big bald head of Riemann Cyrodiil. That'll require a blood donation from the Dragonborn. Within lies a glorious mural of Alduin and the Dragonborn prophecy. It is believed that a specific shout was used to banish the World Eater forward in time, and this means a return to High Hrothgar and another visit to the Greybeards. To your astonishment, the Greybeards have barely moved since you last left them weeks ago. Arngeir will reveal that the shout you seek is so secret that only Paarthurnax knows it. This means you must ascend the throat of the world and meet Paarthurnax, face to face. Now, talking to a dragon is nothing like talking to a mortal. To a dragon, everything is about power. Power equals truth, and they make no distinction between speaking and fighting. Battles between dragons are actually deadly shouted debates. Basically, dragons communicate the same way Twitter users do. It turns out that the only way to learn this shout is to pull a Prisoner of Azkaban time loop and gaze back in history to when the shout was last used. For this, you'll need an Elder Scroll. But where does one find an Elder Scroll? It might be worth seeking the expertise of the librarian at the College of Winterhold. Unfortunately, despite slaying a handful of legendary dragons and being a literal prophesied hero, you'll have to prove your worth to Feralda by casting a basic spell. But hey, it could be worse. She could say that you need 10 years of experience and 5 references to get in. Okay, you're in. You head to the Arcaneum and speak to Urag the librarian. He'll lecture you for a while, but then he'll fetch you some books on the subject, one of which was written by a recluse living inside an iceberg just north of the college. You've got yourself a lead. Septimus Cygnus offers to help you find an Elder Scroll, but only if you help him. Quest design at its finest. The answer lies in the depths of a dwarven citadel. As you descend into the dank darkness, you'll encounter a variety of Dwemer animunculi, some of those hunched, pale, goblin-like Thalmor, and every Elder Scrolls YouTuber. Soon you'll find yourself in Blackreach, an immense cavern carved by ancient dwarven tonal architects. Just don't eat the mushrooms. Somewhere in this subterranean expanse is the Tower of Mazark, which will lead you to the Elder Scroll. The scroll is concealed within the oculary, and the only way to open it is to channel your inner Indiana Jones. Yep, it's a lights and mirrors puzzle. Spam the buttons until the contraption works, and the Elder Scroll will reveal itself. Time to climb the tallest mountain in Tamriel for the 3rd time. You unfurl the Elder Scroll, and the transcendent knowledge stored within is imprinted upon your retinas. Let's hope that's not permanent. You watch as a trio of legendary Nordic heroes engage in a vicious battle with the World Eater. But Alduin is too powerful, so what can they do? Well, Feldir the Old does what all of us do when faced with an overwhelming task. He procrastinates. With the power of an Elder Scroll, Feldir banishes Alduin forward in time, proclaiming to all Tamriel that the World Eater is now someone else's problem. Unfortunately for you, Dragonborn, Feldir's band-aid of a solution is now yours to deal with. No sooner than the vision passes does Alduin arrive in the present, and like a middle-aged dad, he just wants to grill. He's fired up the barbecue, and you're on the menu. Will you be charred, or will you defeat him? Should you emerge victorious, Alduin will fly away. Well shit, what do you do now? The only way to track him down is by interrogating one of his minions. But in order to do that, you have to use Dragon's Reach to capture a dragon. If you haven't settled the Skyrim Civil War, which is conveniently going on at the exact same time as this existential crisis, then you'll have to organise a truce. This quest is called Season Unending, and the unending part is very accurate, because these negotiations last an era. It's understandable if you use this opportunity to mentally check out for a while, but Ulfric, Tullius and Esbern get caught in a debate over whether Fortnite is actually overrated, and how to come to a temporary ceasefire, while the Dragonborn deals with the whole World Eater nuisance. You head to Dragon's Reach, trap Odahviing and commence the interrogation. Dragons don't have rights, and there are no dragon lawyers, so this is all above board. It turns out that Alduin has travelled to the Nordic afterlife of Sovngarde to recover his strength. Despite literally having wings, Odahviing can only take you to the base of Skuldafn, so you'll have to work your way through the Nordic ruin until you find the portal to Sovngarde. Now you have to fight the dragon priest Narkreen, or, if you're speedy enough, you can hop straight into the portal before he even wakes up. You traverse the mists of heaven as the World Eater soars overhead. Then you come to the Whalebone Bridge, where the god of overcoming adversity challenges you to a test of might. After a few slaps, Sun will yield, and you'll be able to enter the Hall of Valor, where all the greatest Nordic heroes of old congregate. You meet with the heroes who fought Alduin in the past, and decide it's time to finish that 4,000-year-old task once and for all. You might have anticipated a spectacular climax, battling the fabled World Eater in the afterlife. Alas, Alduin is only slightly stronger than your average dragon, and can be easily taken down with some sword spam into his flanks. I'm not entirely sure what all the fuss was about, to be honest. Upon his defeat, the Nord heroes will celebrate your achievement and send you back to Skyrim, and the main quest is officially over.
I can't believe it's all over. What do we do now? What do you mean? Now we can finally play the game. Oh yeah,